Could you tell us about Noah's Bitcoin? Because I feel a lot of people, like you've done so many things in the space, and Noah's Bitcoin was something that caught my eye. So I'd love for you to elaborate on your mission with that.
Absolutely. And it's been a while since I've done much with it because now that I'm more in the financial space, we've been working hard there. But originally, the idea was um, there's a lot of monetary expansion happening. And so back in 2021, when I first founded it, I was very concerned about the flood of inflation that I felt was coming, right? And so that was kind of the idea of inflation like a flood. And is there a way that you can hedge your portfolio to rise up as inflation rises up? Because we know in the past, or whenever there's monetary expansion, so money, there's more liquidity added to the system, it's the assets that grow in value. And so, as I mentioned, I started off serving the underprivileged, and they don't have the capacity to, let's say, invest in desirable real estate or even housing sometimes. And so, the fact that Bitcoin was an asset that you could invest in a little bit at a time, that would potentially have the power to hedge as inflation rose and asset values increased, that you'd be able to ride that. Now, obviously, with the disclaimers, we all know, we've been in the space for a while. Bitcoin's very volatile. You never want to put next month's rent money in it. When it's going up, it's electric. Like just last night, it was shooting up, and that's so exciting, but it can just as easily go down. So also wanting to be able to walk with people and help them understand just the way to do it well, which in my opinion is to dollar cost average, right? Just don't even try to time the market. Don't put in more than you can handle, but just kind of slowly buying in, and then having it grow as your little nest egg. And so that you're, during the times of bear market, which can be long and hard, as we've all discovered, you're still doing okay because you haven't overinvested, but you also have that potential to be able to rise up with the flood of inflation and have an asset that can protect some of that life savings that you've put into it.
Yes, and with that note on dollar cost averaging, like, are you excited about like these different investment related entities that's coming out for Bitcoin, such as like the ETF stuff? You're seeing like a lot of new digital wallets coming out, and of course the price is going up now. So we've been in it for a couple cycles now, so we've kind of seen the ebb and flow of how this goes. And I've always found that when the price shoots up, you have all these people coming out of the woodwork. They're Bitcoin experts. They're telling you to invest in this, invest
Yeah.
in that. So,
Yeah.
like, you being like an investment professional, like, what's your thoughts on some of these new um, things that are coming out, or financial instruments that are coming out based on Bitcoin?
Well, I think it's it's a great question. Um, Obviously, having been in the Bitcoin space even longer than I've been in the financial space, I have a great heart for helping people understand how to take possession of their Bitcoin themselves so that they don't have to pay any institution to hold it. And then you don't have the same counterparty risk that you might if right in the traditional system, if let's say a bank were to go down, or so always I encourage people, if you can learn about taking possession, maybe looking at a multi-signature option where you have one key at one place and then another in another place to kind of offset the risk of losing that investment. So for that reason, just me personally, I'm not as interested in the ETF, which would be, it would be backed one to one, but it wouldn't be the same. You'd never be able to take those coins into your own possession or to spend them, let's say, if there's situations where you're able to use Bitcoin. But from a broader perspective, there are a lot of investors that are very interested in this space and would like to be in it, but they are not interested at all in taking those coins into their own possession or taking the risk. And I think that's where the beauty of having access to it for other capital is going to be good for the space. I think in that people are going to, it gives it more credibility, I think, for a lot of investors. Because right now the Bitcoin market cap is extremely small. It's like half a trillion, and gold is 10 trillion, and treasuries are 303 trillion, I think the last time I checked. So there's a lot of room to grow for this asset, and I think a lot of people are really waiting on bated breath.